Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. All right, let's see. Okay. Yes. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is things are ramping up. Okay. Okay. I had to drag my mic closer to me. Sorry. Whew. Y'all, things are ramping up and they kind of are what they are right now. And we're going to have to work through this. No? Yes. Yes. All right. Let me just, okay. I need some. Hold on. It's too hot. Okay. Relax, girl. Relax. 5. We'll go for 5. 5. All right. Let's get started. Woo! Woo! I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm feeling some kind of energy. I'm feeling some kind of something. And I hope that, let me push this back. I hope that whatever it is I'm feeling pressed up on is what it is. I'm feeling like everything is pressed up on me. Okay. Here goes. We go ahead. Things are ramping up. I hope it's ramping up in a good way because, I mean, ramping up in a bad way sucks, right? That would suck. That would definitely suck. And we don't want that. We want goodness. We want growth. We want all of these amazing, amazing things to take us to the next space of existence for yourself. The next space, right? All right. There it goes. Ergo. All right. So let's get started now. I got all the cards. Let's go. All right. Yeah, this is something you're not going to be able to contain. Things are definitely ramping up. And again, I hope it's in a good way. It kind of feels like it is for most. As soon as I say that, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, and the 3 wise men. Okay. So this is something that you're not going to be able to contain. Okay. This is definitely something that you might try to. I will say trying to contain this is a fool's errand. It's a fool's errand, okay? Trying to exert excessive levels of control over your spiritual journey, it's a perfect way to frustrate yourself. So, it's just that is what it is, right? Whatever is happening, it seems like you're not fully aware of exactly the process that you're in. And that's probably why you can't contain it. I think for some, this process has to do with you finally entering into a space of recognizing how powerful you are, recognizing the gravity of your existence, maybe even recognizing some of what your actual purpose is in this life. And you just, you got to flow with it. You got to flow with it. If you're going to be very staunch in your belief of how this must play out, and you're going to frustrate yourself, you're going to disappoint yourself, and you're probably going to miss out on the way this process should go for your greatest benefit, right? So, alchemist, your higher self is just doing the dang thing, doing the dang thing. Um, it's doing something. It is shifting pathways, shifting outcomes, um, kind of keeping you in a space of keeping you guessing, keeping you from fully knowing, right? I think that will primarily happen for people who can't just relax. Probably me. For people who have no chill and need to control their journey, you know, your higher self is doing a lot of alchemy right now to switch up outcomes and different types of things. So we might need to form a support group. What I mean by that is I need you guys to support me through this because, you know, um, it is what it is. And um, seriously, we might need a support group. We might. Yeah. So we'll figure that out later. Um, as things are shifted and changed, your ability to manifest, your soul's ability to manifest the types of situations and connections that are necessary is increasing, right? It's increasing. So just, let it flow. Let it flow. Let it flow. Let that motherfucker flow. Oh, yes. Kel, Kel, this is perfection right here. This is why we vibe. Alchemist Anonymous. Alchemist Anonymous? Hi, thank you for calling Alchemist Anonymous. How may I anonymously help you through your alchemical process? Oh, I hit it instead. Uh, um, I'm just maybe I should have ate before I went live because this is just irking me. Don't worry though, whatever this process is, it's taking you closer to that space of like balance, right? Balance, being centered, being able to tap into all your parts that are needing to be tapped in. So if you're gonna flow, even with a little bit of resistance, then it's gonna happen for you. It's gonna do the do. Okay, it's gonna do the dang thing, the ting ting. So you need to flow. If you don't flow, if you don't want to take accountability for the things that you're doing. I just got a notification that says your review is needed. Ooh, the long awaited opportunities for advancement have finally arrived, just as you've been seeking. Whew. mm, I'm not joking. The long awaited opportunities for advancement have arrived, just as you've been seeking. So, your review is needed. You need to review the ways in which you're contributing to your struggle, the ways in which you're contributing to the, I guess, hardship that you're perceiving you're going through. It's not to say that you're not going through hardship. It's to say that's how you perceive it. And so that's how you experience it. Right. Right. So if you don't want to take accountability, that's perfectly fine. But, death in reverse, let's go ahead and let's get the definition of this card. To me, it feels like this is something that's going to persist. It's going to become just the ugliest thing. Um, it's all you, boo. It's all you. Okay. There's a card that also wants, ooh, okay. So let's see. Death in reverse. Death in reverse. Stagnation, slow changes, partial change, inertia, narrowly avoiding a serious accident. You want to dodge a bullet? You better start paying attention because you absolutely can dodge these ugly bullets, right? You could. But that requires you taking ownership of like your Neo program. Totally just making shit up now. Yeah, it's a Neo program where you could like, dodge the bullets. Much like Neo did in the Matrix, right? Ooh, shit. Every Neo needs a Trinity. Bitch, why can't I be both? You can be both. You absolutely can be both. But yeah, no, you need to pay attention to what's happening in your life. You need to take heed of what your soul is instructing you to do. Okay, soul, I'm listening. Jesus Christ, all of these threats, they're threats. Soul is threatening me. Bitch, fine. I'm already starting what you told me to start. God, that's why we don't vibe. Soul, that's why we don't vibe. King of Staves in reverse. Severity, somewhat excessive and exaggerated ideas, dogmatic and deliberate. See what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm sick of your shit, soul. Sometimes I get really sick of your shit. Like when? Like right now. Like right now, soul, I'm sick of your shit. Oh my God. There was this video of this old man. I'm sure you guys have seen him before. Hold on. Hold on. So I don't know if I'll get a strike if I play this. Okay. This is this old guy right here. The hard truth about peaches revealed. And he's like, he says, what's he say? What's he say? Sir, please hold on, sir. I need to rewind your words. Stop, please. Jesus Christ. Okay. You think the bigger the booty, the finer it is. And now we can convince her she won't switching that big old booty and all that. It ain't nothing but doo-doo in there. Okay, did you hear that? Okay, Mr. Gregory, right. So Mr. Gregory said, we think, I don't know who we are, but we think the bigger the booty, the sweeter it is, or the better it is. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. And he's like, we think that if we could just convince her or something, I don't know, convince her or what, but and she comes and she starts swaying that booty up in here. And he's like, that's filled with nothing but doo-doo. And I was like, sir, are you low key promoting girls with big foreheads? Because big forehead means big brain. And it might just be my time to shine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? It might be my time. Might be my time to shine. And not hating on girls with big booties. I mean, you know, I can't lie. I wish I could. I wish I could have one. I told my husband the other day that based on my genetics, I'll never be able to make it clap. I can't. That's not where I store my fat. I just yeah. I'll never be able to make that clap. But if I flex it enough, I could hold things for you. I could. I could. It's all muscle. There's no clapping to that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you need something to bounce ideas off of, just toss them, toss them, toss them. My ass will bounce it right back. You know what I'm saying? It'll bounce it right back. There's no clapping, but it'll do what it need to do. It could hold your pencil. It could, and I want to make sure we know I'm not hating on girls with big booties. I admire that. I'm saying we always admire what we can't have. I'll never have a booty like that. Just all soft and squishy. I would love to. I would love to experience privately. Not publicly, but privately. What is that like when it claps? I I can't. I it is what it is. But your girl got a big forehead. If you need some thoughts that need to be thought, I could do that for you. You know, no, I'm not gonna do that for you either. I'm married, motherfuckers. I'm married. Am I trying to sell myself to you? No, no. I'm hostile. I'm aggressive. I'm down with being combative. Leave me alone. Okay? Let's carry back on. I heard that man, Mr. Gregory, Mr. Dick Gregory, and I was like, bitch, is it my time to shine? Because the forehead action, like shit. It's not full of shit there. It's full of thoughts, profound thoughts. And then I remembered the other day I told my husband I'll never be able to make a clap for you. it's not in our destiny. It's not. It's just not. But I could definitely hold small objects between my ass crack. It's getting there. It's getting there. I could build a little shelf. It's getting there. It's not fully there, but we're working on it. Give me time. Give me time. It'll be okay. So, fertility, there's something that's being created for you. I don't know what. Hopefully, it's something good. I think it's something good, but if you're not going to cooperate with your soul, then it's not going to be good. Even if it is good, you're going to see it as something bad. And so you're going to experience it as something bad. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. And I think the most powerful thing you can do is just see it for what it is. Like the whole concept of, culture, still, we're still somewhat in this space of the ideal woman's figure involves a very ample, succulent, succulent bouquet, which, I don't have that. I have Asian genetics. I have the figure, I want to say, like of a 10-year-old boy with a wicked case of gynecomastia. That is how I would describe. That's hot, huh? That's how I would describe my figure. For those of you who are like weird as fuck and you just silently creep on my live streams because you have this like fantasy. I got a boy's body with boobs. So knock it the fuck off. And the boobs, they're not perky, boo. We got to origami that into the bra. Like just fold it up, lift it, and tuck. Okay? So I think that might have been too much info because then there are people with a fetish for or origami boobs. Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your boobs hang low? Ooh, ooh, ah, shit. Okay, I should have ate before I came live. Passion in reverse. You're just gonna be so mad for nothing. If you're not gonna flow with your soul and your soul decides to be a dick to you, you're just gonna be so mad for nothing because you can't fight your soul and win. Stop. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. You're not gonna win. Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Celebration. So if you don't have anything one of these days I'm gonna rewatch a live stream because when I watch myself, I don't feel like it's me that I'm watching. It's just some random ass girl on the screen. I don't know. Dissociation much? Yes. I'll take two. So one of these days, that's what we'll have to do. Okay. I will rewatch my live stream while I'm live, and you can have first hand witnessing capacity of how I receive my own words. Because one time a few years back, I went ahead and I rewatched a portion of my live stream because someone commented something and I was like, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. And then they time-stamped what they were referencing. And so I went back and I watched it. I was like, who is this bitch? What is she talking about? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? And I was totally like, yo, is this what it's like? Is this what it's like? Because this is weird. Not even joking. That's why I don't watch any of my live streams. I don't, because it's just like, I don't want to traumatize myself like that. If you feel like you have nothing to celebrate, you have to create circumstance that can be celebrated. Or maybe you need to take a look at what your parameters are for what you consider worthy of a celebration. Like, is it just major, major, major things that you feel like you need to celebrate. Like for me, I can celebrate pretty much anything. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. So my sister, um, like I'm gonna call her my sister from this point on because I'm gonna manifest my brother marrying her. I've been I mean, she hasn't asked me to do any of this. As a matter of fact, I don't think she's aware. I'm already hatching a plan. I was like, "Ooh, that's definitely a keeper." And then I put a picture of a ring, and then hearted it, and I was like, "I'm planting seeds." But anyways, my sister texted me earlier and sent me a copy of a PDF that she was going to send to a client. And she's like, could you look this over to see if it needs any tweaking or anything like that before I send it to the client? And I looked at it and I was like, yay, it looks so good. I'm not even joking. I was looking at my phone and I looked at it and I was like, "Yay, it looks so good." And I was like, "Send it, send it." I don't know what I was celebrating, but it was like, "It's good. It's good. It makes me happy. You're progressing." You tell me something good happened to you, I'm gonna celebrate that shit. I'm gonna celebrate it like it happened to me because you know what? I don't need to have more than someone else, be more than someone else. I could just genuinely celebrate someone else's happiness, someone else's progress, someone else's accomplishment. And because I function in that way, um, I mean, sometimes I think sometimes you can't tell. I'm not sure. But for the most part, I'm a pretty jolly person, quietly inside. Quietly inside, I'm very jolly. Sometimes it bubbles to the surface, and I feel jolly externally, can be witnessed external from my internal circumstance. Oftentimes, I quietly chuckle to myself. I'm not even joking. Throughout the day, I quietly chuckle to myself about random things that flit through my mind. And that makes it very, very, very difficult for parasitic shit to infiltrate me. Why? Well, like for example, Um, I remember one time I entered into level 2 hangry. I was just hangry. I needed to eat. And I could feel something like trying to assess my auric shield and trying to see if it could enter unrecognized. And I don't know why. I kind of just laughed to myself. I was like, I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would. I wish. Deeply, wholeheartedly wish that a motherfucker would. And then it cracked me up. And then the demonic thing went away because it was like, I'm not the motherfucker today. And I was like, you suck. You suck. All right, that's fine. That's fine. You don't come back, okay? Don't come back. Send your other friend or something, but you suck. You don't come back. Don't try. I'm beyond what you could do. I am beyond what you can handle. So just no. Right. And I think if you can enter into a space where you can find the humor in things, even if they're difficult things, even if they are very, very challenging to you, um, I think you know, you'll be pretty much set to experience whatever this ramping up cycle is in a good way, in a positive way, right? In a positive way. So, new chapter in reverse. You're not gonna you're not gonna be able to like, okay, I'm gonna put this book down. I want to read a different book because I don't like what's happening. Nope. You're gonna have to go through this. Your soul wants you to get to the other side. The other side of what? The other side of your fear, right? Because really you're entering into a time where um you're needing to know who you are beyond what you're afraid of, beyond the limits that have kept you very confined, very, very, very confined to just this mediocre existence. Yo, there's nothing cute about mediocrity. And there's nothing cute about basing your worth and level of mediocrity or excellence, um, basing it on your competition or comparison with someone else. Like for me, um, mediocrity for me is when I don't push myself to excel. Has nothing to do with someone else. It has absolutely nothing to do with someone else. It has everything to do with my very intimate knowing of what I am capable of achieving for any given task, any given subject matter, any given whatnot, right? So like, let's share this with you guys. No, I won't. No, no, I won't. I would share it in the soul sanctuary, but you know, you gotta bond with me to some depth before I start sharing this type of thing with you. Yeah, no, no, no. I just realized, no, I'm not gonna share that here. I'm not gonna share it here. Okay, so move forward, but it's in reverse. Because remember, you're not gonna start a new chapter, right? Soul is like, just in case you want to try and fuck around and find out, boo, let me just cut you off. All the avenues are being blockaded. You're being corralled by soul. You're definitely. Ooh, so soul is basically like the sheep herder, and the demons, the demonic shit that's going to be like sent your way if you don't fucking cooperate with your soul. They're like the sheepdogs, right? They can bite at your heels. They're not actually going to be allowed to bite you though. Blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. It's to urge you into the direction that soul is encouraging you to go. Like, think on the gravity of that analogy, right? Does the rancher, does the sheep herder want to harm the sheep? Of course not. The sheep and the sheep herder don't always have the capacity to efficiently communicate with accuracy and understanding, right? So then other things will be employed to facilitate what the sheep herder is trying to do for their sheep. They're trying to get you into the spaces where, I guess the food selection is the best for you, right? Or maybe get you out of the spaces that would not be so safe for you. I think for some of us, your soul is kind of pushing you, urging you, allowing the the parasitic things to bark and snarl at your heels to push you forward, to get you out of the space where you don't belong, where you cannot be kept the most safe possible, right? Things are ramping up. Um, Michael says it's important to share. Like, I have had a lot of interference and just absolute foolery from demonic things in my whole life, right? From childhood all the way through till now. Um, for example, if you guys see that the screen suddenly flashes really bright, do you know what that is? Have you guys noticed that? Where sometimes the screen, like there's no change in lighting, clearly, there's no change in lighting, but then suddenly the white balance is shifted and the screen will just be really super bright, like almost a white for a split second, and then it will revert back to the natural color saturation. You guys have seen that, right? That's demonic shit hitting my shield and being tasered. Like, yeah, and just like that. That's none of my concern. No, that's none of my concern. That's how it's going to be, and that's that. Right? I'm not scared. I used to be. I used to be very scared. But I'm not anymore because I realize the gravity of the promises that my soul has made to me. I'm not allowed to actually truly be harmed by things that are deemed by my soul, not by my human self, but by my soul as a lesser consciousness. Mhm. I won't allow things to actually, like, harm me unnecessarily, right? I did one time, though. It was like I had a 3 branded onto my neck. It was literally from here to here, and it was like a perfectly symmetrical 3. And I was sitting on the couch and I suddenly felt that and I was like, "Ugh, what is that?" And I looked in the mirror and it was like it was all welted up. It hurt. It hurt. Um, but it was also this thing of soul was trying to communicate a message to me and I would not listen. I was in such an emotional space that prevented my own soul from communicating things to me that were necessary for my safety, my well being. And so it had to get my attention by allowing something like that. Okay. So you're going to feel like you have no choice, but in reality, the choices have already been made by you on a soul level. You are a lesser component of your soul's consciousness, a lesser component. What does that mean? Well, the full gravity of your consciousness cannot be completely confined in a physical body. It creates a lot of frequency discrepancies. It creates gaps and distorts code expression. So it makes for a very sickly person, right? So a large portion of your consciousness is actually stored in a solar receptacle. Mhm. I'll make a video about this on TikTok at some point, but that's yeah, yeah. So your soul has already made decisions, chosen options that are in your best interest, and it did this a while ago, um, before you even came into this life. So trust because your soul knows the actual plan from start to finish. You only know the immediate stuff, the things that are within eyesight, right? So that means you really have no idea where your soul is bringing you, why, the details, who's going to be there, how to dress for it, all of that. So, excuse me. So, you need to allow yourself to begin exploring what's in your shadow during this period. As things ramp up, um, there's going to be a lot of triggering. The triggering is to serve as a catalyst, and that catalytic conversion of fear into pure power. That's the process that you're in. So if you flow, there's not gonna be an intense need to like really pressure inject you forward, right? Your soul can just sprinkle it, sprinkle. Awaken in reverse. Again, another confirmation that you're not going to be aware in advance of the gravity of what you are going through. You just have to go through it, and then you'll have an opportunity after to consider, to console yourself, to really dive deep into the potential reasons as to why this or that needed to be experienced. Be still. Allowing yourself to get completely agitated right at the beginning is not going to serve you. It's just it's not going to serve you. Fucking bitches. Not you guys, sorry. Mm. This type of stuff totally just okay. So you got to let go of the expectations that you're holding on to. You got to let go of this like unrealistic, misaligned expectation of how much you can control a process you have no idea about, right? And someone might be like, I mean, no, I should have a say. I should have control. Yeah. Okay, let's see how this plays out in your day-to-day life. Let's do some examples, right? You have an issue, medical issue, you don't know what's going on, you're very afraid. You're feeling sensations that don't make sense, that create more fear. You're going to go to the doctor, right? That's the sensible, logical thing to do. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, well, you know what? Here's a diagnosis. This is a treatment plan. What's your thoughts? Are you going to be like, no, doctor, that's not what I wanted you to say? Why the fuck are you at the doctor's office? That make no sense. Are you going to say that? Like, say you're having belly pain, right? uh Very serious belly pain, you're doubled over, and this is for most of the day at this point. And you have it in your head that you're going to go to the doctor, and the doctor is going to tell you that, oh, you have food intolerance, you need to just cut out gluten. And you get to the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh my god, you have appendicitis, you're at risk of rupture of your appendix, which that's really fucking bad. Are you gonna be like, "No, no, I'm sorry, doctor. No, 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 no. No, I have a food intolerance." Are you serious? Another example. Um, okay, so you have a legal issue happening. You go ahead and you hire a lawyer. And I mean, and these examples are totally hypothetical, obviously. So you go ahead and you hire a lawyer, and you have this expectation of how this is going to play out. And the lawyer informs you that, unfortunately, this case that you've hired me for, it's not going to be resolved in 7 days the way you were expecting. This is going to take time. We're going to need to gather all sorts of evidence, information, and whatever else. Um, and you're going to be like, no, no, I already gave you everything you need, and you need to get this resolved in 7 days. Is that how that works? Is because that's not how that works. Right? Your soul knows. Your soul is the you specialist. It knows exactly what it needs to do, what you need to participate in, what you need to experience, all the different components of you, your physical body, emotional body, mental body, luminous bodies. It knows all of those things and how they interact with each other. Let your soul have the elbow room to do what it do. You have to just comply with what your soul is already communicating. Like, my soul communicated something on Saturday, and I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll play along. I think maybe like 3 months. Yeah, I'm giving myself 3 months or so. And then yesterday, soul was like, no, you're not. You're doing it right now. And I was like, no, soul, stop. How about 2 months? Yeah. And then later on in the day, soul was like, how about 48 hours? What? Okay, I guess. Okay. Because really, the only other option, if I don't comply with that, uh, it would probably be the equivalent of soul dragging me by my last little bits of hair that's left through a dry riverbed. Now, I don't know about y'all. I want to preserve as much as I possibly can the last little bits of hair that I have left from my alopecia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not fully attached to the hair. Like, if I need to be completely bald, I think I'd still look sexy like that. Hmm. I think I could totally create a character for myself to live my life completely big bald. And I'd still be okay with that. But as long as I have the last little bits of straggly something or other on my head, I want to preserve that. you know, I want to preserve that the best I can. So I'm going to comply with soul. I'm going to absolutely comply with soul. It would be best during this cycle that you comply as much as you possibly can. Okay. Like, as much as you possibly can. Thank you, Michelle. I stole it from my son. Card number 48, a fierce Purba wielding blue dakini, conduit from the sky to the earth. Ooh, you are a conduit. Be fierce and vanquish whatever is holding you back. Vanquish the limitations, vanquish the fear, vanquish the um resistance. Resistance is futile. Yeah, that's what runs through my head. Resistance is futile. Um Father of the five Buddha families, you are fine just the way you are. You see what I'm saying? You're fine just the way you are. You don't got to be dragged for you to comply. Just comply with your soul. I encourage you to be non-compliant with everyone else. Fuck that shit. Right? Like someone's trying to tell you what to do. Fuck that shit. Don't comply. Right? Soul is telling you what to do. Bitch, just do what soul is saying. I'm not joking with you. Just do what your soul is telling you to do. Don't make it harder for yourself. Okay? Let that sink in. Replace ignorance by studying spiritual teachings, but see, it's in reverse. So I'm wondering if for some of you, the spiritual stuff that you're finding online, you're being brought to that by something parasitic to really fuck with your process. Hello, twin flame teachings, twin flame teachings, twin flame fuck you up 101. We're beginning class right now. Twin flame fuck you up 101. Class is starting. Yeah, no, don't believe any of that shit. Live your life. Live your life. Believe what your soul is asking you to believe. Not what other people are telling you. Not even me. I'm saying, yo, as long as I'm in this fine ass human body, I still human. I still have human fallacy that exists in this fine ass brain of mine. I'm just trying to hype myself up right now because I'm hungry and I'm getting grumpy. So let me do my thing, okay? Um, yeah, girl, you brain so fine. It's just I feel grumpy at this point. I feel grumpy. Give yourself over to joy and your life will flow, but it's in reverse. Yeah, no, give yourself over to the challenge. Fully commit yourself to the challenge that your soul has invited you to. You do it. Do it. Do it. You can do it. Put your back into it. I'm serious. Do it. Do it. Focus on beauty, manifest harmony. Focus on the beauty of what you're going through, right? Even the most ugly situation has a beautiful component to it. It's usually something so ridiculously profound that until you allow yourself to release the expectations that are misaligned with a reality of the experience, you're not going to see the beauty in it. You're just not. You're not going to see the beauty in it because then it's just going to be like, ew, ugly, yuck, right? Yeah. So, the path of the intellect can yield a long life. Yeah. This is your opportunity to go from merely a human perception and to begin to be introduced to the divine, profound logic of soul, which transcends any possible perception you could develop as a human being. Your soul is wanting to reconnect with you. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. You guys, I'm not even joking. Okay. Ooh, this is shit. It makes me want to pee. This is stressful. Okay. I'm being completely serious at this point. For many of us, we're going to be placed in front of a test. Okay. This is not a human being testing you. This is soul testing your willingness to comply testing your ability to cooperate, the loss that will be incurred if this test is not adhered to and properly completed, it's far too expensive of a cost. Y'all, I've seen several circumstances in the past several months of people who receive the gravity of message that I'm about to give you. They receive that from me. It was a message from their soul, advanced knowledge of what fucked up shit is going to happen. And I gave them the message from soul. And y'all know I'm not allowed to interfere beyond a certain degree. So you get to choose. Are you going to experience? Are you going to live through the fucked up situation? Or are you going to listen to soul and just kind of be glad that you don't know what you did not experience, what kind of hardship and absolute fucked off situation you didn't experience because you listened to soul? So I've told, it's still in the single digits, right? I've told several people the messages from soul, and they were already going through some things, difficult things, and in order to really take in soul's guidance, it was going to put them into a position of perceived hardship, right? Like perceived hardship. Sometimes it will take an investment on their part for maybe treatment, maybe they need to move, maybe they take a class from me or something. But it requires some form of investment, which I get. Um, Being financially destabilized is one of the scariest things for most people, right? So again, there's already several, still in the single digits, but several who allowed their fear to overcome the potential to avoid the worst case scenario. And unfortunately, now they're living worst case scenario. And it's just going to keep getting worse until they actually do what they need to do, what they were instructed to do by soul. So, for example, this was a while back, like a long time ago. Um, Soul told me that we had to leave, we had to move, and I just didn't want to. Sometimes your girl gets tired of being a fucking blowing leaf in the wind. Sometimes I want to just percolate in the soil, allow myself to just lay there in the soil for prolonged periods. Okay. So I was like, I don't want to. And then it was this thing of like, I don't really have the financial means to do all this shit right now. Like, there's things I need to do, right? Like, I have to do other things. Like, those monies have been allotted for something else. Yeah, the monies are in my account, but that needs to go to something else. And, then Soul reminded me the one time that I regret the most my entire life was when Soul did this to me in 2011, I wanna say, right? 2011, where I was instructed by Soul to go ahead and leave California. We owned our house, by the way. So, like, why the fuck would I just leave? Hello. And so Soul said, you need to leave California right now. And I said, okay, I need some signs, which Soul gave me all the signs. And then the day came, and I was like, no, like that feels irresponsible. It's scary. There's so much uncertainty. So I'm staying. I'm staying. And then I all my children were healthy still, right? And then I found out I was pregnant with the next baby. And I was like, "Oh, for sure we're not going now." Like, no. I'm not down for that. We're staying. We're staying. Hmm. I wish I would have left. I wish I would have left and never knew what I avoided. We stayed, and my children got poisoned because we lived in a fertile valley and I wasn't aware. They were spraying pesticides. It was all in the air, all over the properties, everyone's property. I didn't know that was the reason one of my children was born with a fatal birth defect. We got very lucky. He didn't die. I didn't know that's why. And then what ended up happening because we stayed? I didn't know this is what my soul was trying to protect me from. My children got sick, very sick. Very, very, very sick. It delayed their growth. And it ensured that I can never live in California again. That's why we left. My children were poisoned by pesticides. I didn't know. Had we left, neither would have gotten sick. The type of suffering that I watched my babies endure. They suffered. Because I wouldn't listen. Because I thought I knew better. One of my children, he looked like a burn victim. His body was so overwhelmed, his little tiny body was so overwhelmed with so much poison that it would ooze from his skin every day. Every day. And I would have to dress their skin like burn victims. And we saw specialist after specialist after specialist. They couldn't help. We had to leave the only home they've known. And we left quickly. Because one day, Soul said, "It's time for you to leave." And I said, "No, my husband will never agree to leave California." And then he came home that day from work and he said, "You know what? We should check out Texas. Let's see if we'll like it there." And I said, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's move out of California." I was like, "Are you fucking serious? Who are you?" So we figured we'd try. We looked. We went to Texas for a few days, and as soon as we crossed the Rocky Mountains, no, the Sierras, the Sierra Mountains, my sickest baby's skin stopped oozing. It stopped oozing. And the further away we got from California, the less he suffered. And as soon as we were headed back, as soon as we hit Barstow and we began crossing into California, he began to ooze again. And I was like, whoa, is he allergic to California? What the hell? We didn't have the money to move. I was like, how is this gonna work? I don't know how this will work. And you know what? Not long after we got back home, we were having dinner, or no, lunch. We were having lunch at the kitchen table, which happens to be right up against a window that sees out into our street. And we were close with our neighbors. So our neighbor walks up to our window. The window was open. He's like, "Hey, neighbors." Weird ass shit, right? And we're all eating and we're like, "Hey, you want to come in and eat?" And he's like, "No, did you guys see how much our houses are worth? They doubled in price." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." My husband and I looked at each other like we're fucking selling. From that moment, within a month, that house was sold for the highest asking price per square foot in the entire neighborhood. And you know what else? It was bought by someone who's a small business owner, so they requested a quick close. 7 days we were in escrow, the house was sold, the money was in our account. That fear is an invitation for you to rise beyond the pain you are about to suffer. We sold for double the value of what we purchased that house for. And because of the situation that was happening in the economy, when we finally chose to buy a house, everyone was like, "Don't buy now. Everyone's getting laid off. You're crazy. Now is not the time to buy." Soul said, "Buy something." We didn't have a lot of money. I had $3,000 to buy a house. Well, guess what? To entice people to buy, not only were the houses more than 50% off of what they last sold for, $3,000 bought me a house. That's all I had. We were there for 3 or 4 years, something like that. And that netted us double with only a $3,000 investment. Only 3,000. When soul tells me to do something, my ass is doing it. Because the one time I didn't, that still breaks my heart. The one time I didn't listen is going to forever be the heaviest, most intense way that I've failed my children for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life. My husband was looking at old videos of our kids last night. We were in bed. And my child who got the most sick during that period, I remember when that video was taken. When you look at him in the video, he looks like he's about 6 or 7 months old. He was already 2. He was already 2, wearing 7-month-old clothing. But if you allow yourself to transcend the basic human perception, there's so much beauty in that. It's not beautiful that my children suffered. What's beautiful is the way I chose to react and respond to it. Do you know why I know so much about human health? Why I know so much about herbs, alternative medical things that you can do to truly regain your health? Because of the gift my children gave me through their suffering. Oh, but I promise you, I will never allow that again. Ever. Ever. So if I have to work through some set of core fears that normally cripple me, then I fucking will. Because never again will my children bear the brunt of my lesson. Never again. Never again will I ever disregard instruction from soul. I remember very clearly the feelings that I was given, the locations on my body that the messages were communicated. Soul sends me a message and I feel like that. Okay, I don't want to, but tell me what the fuck to do. Tell me what to do. When you give your soul permission to guide you in that way, ridiculously miraculous stuff, ridiculously miraculous things will happen. It will happen for you. Case in point, so we rent homes, right? I don't want to own anymore. We rent homes, and one time I needed to move, and I'm like, ugh, that's always an anxious thing for me, having to move, which is all the time. And randomly, to ensure that we would have the pick of houses that we want to pick from, um, no changes to my credit, yet it got bumped 30 something points for no reason. What? Uh-huh. It got bumped by 30 something points, increased. Do you know how hard that is for someone to do? How much you have to put into improving your credit score by even 5 points, 10 points, over 30 something points. It got increased for no reason. And we moved to the house we picked. We didn't have to settle for anything. We got the pick of houses because the credit score was through the roof. That's not to say that it will stay that way. Because then, yeah, no, after we moved, like maybe 2 weeks after we moved, they fucking took away the 30 something points for no reason. Bitches, quit playing with my emotions. Yeah. Soul will provide you all the things that you need, but you have to be willing to give soul that gravity of authority over a human process. You have to. Because if you don't, well, some really fucked up shit happens. Going back to the reading, soul is inviting you to rise to a challenge. You're being invited. The invitation has already gone out. If you refuse, refusing is a trap. It's a trap. It got me stuttering. Refusing to comply with what your soul is telling you to do is a trap. It's going to initiate an upside down cycle. You're going to be infiltrated by parasitic shit, and it's going to require the destruction of your entire life as you know it to be right now in order to cleanse this from you. Do you need to live firsthand the experiences that you will regret having to have had experienced, where you're going to spend the rest of your life thinking, I wish I never knew what soul was having me avoid. I wish I had just listened. And what happened to my kids in the San Joaquin Valley? To date, there's a class action lawsuit happening over glyphosate and exposure to glyphosate. I contacted lawyers years ago. All of my children's health is medically documented. You know what the lawyer said to me? Unfortunately, your child has not yet been diagnosed with end stage cancer, and your child is still alive. So we can't take your case on. We can't represent you. Are you serious? They were serious. They were only representing the families who have had family members die or are in the process of dying right at death's door. It's one of those things. I wish I never knew what it was that I was being asked to avoid. I wish I never knew. I think for some of you, what you're being asked to avoid is a person who you think you have a soul connection to. This is a very specific message. A person who you think you might have some type of soul connection to, but they are actually so beyond toxic for you. If things are kind of falling apart or you're being given messages from people you trust, your friends, people you love, and you're going to be like, no, we have a soul connection. That's up to you. Yeah, I believe so wholeheartedly in sovereignty that I would let you fall flat on your fucking face so you can understand what your soul is trying to do for you. For most, I'll extend my hand out after you've fallen, like, hey, let me help you up. You okay? But I'll let you experience what you choose. I won't fight it. I won't be like, you're going to regret it. No, I'll be like, okay, at least you're making a decision fully informed. So it is what it is. I'll honor your decision. I'll honor it. It is what it is. But I can't emotionally connect to you anymore because it's going to really hurt my feelings, really hurt my heart, seeing the ways in which you suffer because you chose it. I got to protect myself and my heart. So I'm going to back away. And when you come back around to let me know you were right, I didn't want to be right. I wanted you to be okay. I never wanted to be right. The only thing I wanted was for you to be okay. So it doesn't validate me. It doesn't any of that. It just makes me sad. I had someone reach out to me one time, apparently during one of the live streams, and this has happened a couple times, to be honest. Apparently during one of the live streams, they had purchased a bioscan expedite from me. And I had told them, you have parasitic latchings across, a certain area of your mouth, inside your mouth. And that needs to be extracted. And I even explained during the live stream, because I could feel the resistance and the aversion to what I was saying, which that's okay. I respect that. But just for um, everyone's benefit, I decided to explain. Depending on the type of parasitic latchings you have, if it's allowed to persist for prolonged periods, those latch points eventually will permeate into the density of flesh and it will begin to disrupt appropriate, healthy code expression, genetic code expression. So, what does that mean? If you let it sit long enough, you could eventually, potentially, just a potential, it's not guaranteed, develop a cancer. I mean, to me, it's just factual because I've seen this. I've worked with, I want to say, over 10,000 clients at this point. Um, yeah, to me, it's just like, this is what I see. This is, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. And it is what it is. So a couple of years later, the person reaches out and is like, Emmy, you were right. I just got diagnosed with oral cancer. And the cancer is exactly where you said I had a parasite. I just wanted to let you know you were right. That's fucked off. I don't want to be right about that. I don't know what happened to them because I was at a loss for words. I I, I didn't know what to say. I think all I said was like, I hope you're okay. I hope this is a very smooth process for you and that you have the support you need. And I'm very sorry. It's up to you guys if you want to go ahead and test your soul. I wouldn't recommend it. Absolutely would not recommend that. Um, this is a massive and very accelerated ascension process that pretty much the entire globe is in. And the effects that result from the causations you choose, they will vary in intensity from person to person. Some people, it's like, your effects that you live through after what you choose, it's mild, it's no biggie. For other people, it's catastrophic, life altering, and just the start of a nightmare. I don't know what it's going to be for each of you. It really depends on the gravity of your choice. You have the right to choose. You have the freedom to choose. But you will always be the only one harvesting the effects of what you choose. And sometimes when you're a very difficult person to teach, um, just like what happened with me, sometimes soul will involve, affect people who, once you see the effect on them because of your love for them, it will devastate you. Soul is not emotionally invested in anything. Soul doesn't experience emotions like that, not like a human. That's why we come into human form. This is the only form we can exist in, incarnate into, where we can feel the full gambit of human emotions. The reason it's called a human emotion is because only humans feel that, right? So, yeah, no, soul is not trying to get even. Soul's not punishing you. Soul is absolutely respecting the way you choose to learn the lesson at hand. And sometimes your soul wants to give you such a fighting chance to avoid the difficulties that the lesson intrinsically has. So soul will encourage you to cross paths with someone like me where I'm just like, "Hey, this is what your soul said. It's a pretty fucked off situation. I wouldn't participate in that shit. I would not. I would do what soul says." And then soul will free you to decide, do you want to do that or do you want to have the full experience? The full experience still benefits you because elevations in suffering and struggling create elevations in potentiality. But as you suffer and struggle, if you're not allowing yourself to elevate your awareness of what you're in, the process you're in, the elevation and potential is wasted. You still stay baseline. Ascension mechanics. That's how ascension mechanics work. So, shadow work in reverse. Those who refuse to enter into the shadows because they are busy projecting onto someone else this whole twin flame concept. Um, it's, I'll be blunt, it's going to be a very fucked off situation for you. I would prefer it not be, but I don't have the authority to force you onto the path that is of the least resistance. But it's not going to be good. For those who do choose to go in the direction that your soul, not me, but your soul is instructing you to go, you're going to reach higher levels of dimensional awareness. You're going to reach a profound understanding of your life thus far. You're going to enter into a space of just pure gratitude and trust, because now you see soul has been on your side this entire time. It's never been against you. And it's conspiring with you for the greatest potential and the most beautiful experiences. But you got to cooperate. Things are ramping up. How that will play out is completely up to you. Okay? It's completely up to you. So, this reading has just emotionally drained me. I got to go eat. I'm emo as fuck right now. I will be going live on TikTok in a few minutes. I don't know. I've lost my appetite. I might eat, I might not. We don't know. I've lost my appetite though. I'm just, yeah. So I'm going to go on TikTok. If you guys aren't already following me on TikTok or subscribe to me, you should go right now. I'm going to be live on there in a few minutes. I just need to empty my bladder and then I'll be live there. So I'll see you guys over there. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes on Tiki Tac.